everyone, my name is Mehek. I hope you guys are doing fine and safe, and like always I also hope that you guys are reading. Happy New Year to all of you. We are in 2022. I know that the third wave is upon us and you might feel glum and unwell, but let's be positive and optimistic, and like always let's surround ourselves with books to feel a little more hopeful, positive, and to distract ourselves. The first book that I finished reading for this year is the Ikigai journey. I'm sure you might be knowing the famous Ikigai book, which became like a cult, I would say. This is the second part in the series, and somehow it felt apt to start the book on this positive, inspirational note. Now, for those of you who have not read the Ikigai book, I would quickly like to explain what the word Ikigai means. Ikigai is basically having a reason to jump out of bed. So the word hails from Japan. So in Japan, the people believe that each one of us has a mission or purpose in life, which is your Ikigai, which makes you get up in the morning and get up from the bed. Basically, something that keeps you motivated. It is also a key that allows you to live a long and fulfilling life. So while the first part of the book was, basically introduced you, it was more theory, I would say, which introduced you to the concept of Ikigai. The second part, which is this one, the Ikigai journey, like it says, it's a practical guide. So this one gives us actionable insights, to feel a sense of fulfillment and to be motivated and persistent in our efforts to achieve what we want. So there is like theory, and they have these exercise that you need to do, which kind of goes parallelly with the theory that you can practice and keep yourself motivated. Now, the authors basically, they take this train from Tokyo to Kyoto, and these two stations have 35 stations between them. So as they pass from one station to another, they give us these 35 concepts, that basically motivates you and inspires you, or gives you a pathway to achieve your Ikigai. And yeah, that is what this book is all about. Now, I think the best way for me to talk more about this book to you would be, if I take you through some of the concepts. I can't take you through all the 35 concepts, but some of the concepts that really stayed with me, or, that stood out for me in this book, which will give you a little more idea about what this book is all about and if you want to read it or not. The first, thing that the authors talk about, how in Japan they have this, attitude of never giving up, or nothing is impossible. So they're always trying really hard. In fact, there's this village in Japan called Okinawa, which is known for having the highest life expectancy, and how everyone there is, literally like above 95 plus, 100 plus. And they believe that if you don't do anything, if you slow down, death come quickly to you. So it's important that you're always doing something and you're active, you have your Ikigai in place. And it doesn't mean that if you're retired, you still do, what I mean is that it doesn't mean office work. So even if you're retired, it means that you have some purpose. It could be to write a book, or to do gardening, or to do social work, something. So even if you're 80, 90, or 70 and you're retired, you need to have a purpose in life that gives meaning to your days. That is what it means. And now I'm going to take you through these, some of the concepts which, like I said, will give you an idea. Okay, the first one, which is, like I said, that in Japan, how they have this never giving up attitude. So one of the thinking that they have is that if you have an objective you think you're going to reach in 10 years, the best strategy to make it happen is to think about how you can manage to reach the same objective in 1 year. So that's how the people in Japan function. If something that is to be achieved in 10 years, they, automatically prepare that what if they have to achieve it in 1 year. That is how they function. Another thing now, I don't know if you guys know this famous author, Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote the famous book Outliers. So a decade ago, he did this research and wrote this book, and in which he asked himself that why only some people succeed, why not everyone succeed? And he points out that 10,000 hours of practice are necessary in order to succeed. So basically he says, with 1 hour we'll have a basic introduction. With 10 hours we'll gain a wider notion of the main concepts. With 100 hours we reach an intermediate level. With 1,000 hours we become specialists, but if you want to become a master, you need to spend 10,000 hours on that subject. That is what it takes for you to succeed. Moving on. Yeah, another chapter is on feedback. So usually, we shy away from feedbacks, whether especially the negative ones, but the author says that feedback is the mirror that others show us to reflect our progress. It is important to constantly take feedbacks to know how you're progressing in life. Getting good feedback allows us to make faster progress, developing our passion and our Ikigai. In the absence of feedback, we run the risk of ending up lost in the sea of possibilities with our compass changing course every morning. So, good, bad, it's important that, you surround yourself with people who give you genuine feedbacks, I would say. The next chapter, which I would totally and completely agree with the author, is how having the word is senpai, which is that you need a senpai is a mentor in your life or a guide. So it's the author says that it's very important that you have a mentor in your life, someone to guide you, because a mentor is also someone who might share knowledge of topics that you are not aware of. So, someone who pushes you or urges you to come out of your comfort zone. For example, I have a mentor in my life, and he, the things he reads about or talks about or knows about is totally different than what I read or know about. Obviously his knowledge is, expansive, and that's the reason when I sit and talk to him, it's really interesting, because the kind of perspectives that I get in my life while talking to him is really nice. He talks about things that I've never heard of or I know about, and I feel those moments of conversations we have definitely puts me out of my comfort zone, or they help me in giving me a newer perspective. The next is, this one has to be my biggest takeaway from this book, which I think you all are going to benefit. So I would really want you to pay attention to this technique. It's called the Pomodoro Technique, a very efficient way of improving your performance and finishing things on time. So how does this technique work is that you divide the time allocated to work into unbroken 25 minutes period. So you work for 25 minutes. You don't, interrupt yourself with unnecessary social media browsing or calls or anything, but 25 minutes straight you do work, and then you take a 5 minutes break, and then you do this for 4 times, 25 minutes 4 times, and then you reward yourself with a 15-20 minutes break. So the author basically says that this is a very effective method because limiting the time to 25 minutes forces us to fully concentrate in order to fulfill the little mission we have assigned ourselves. This will also allow you to, complete more work in less time. Imagine you work for 25 minutes straight, no interruptions, you take a 5 minutes break, you do that again for 25 minutes. So it allows you to feel less anxious and more focused. And then, when you've done these 4 to 5 times, you take a 15-20 minutes break. So this is something personally that I have started picked up, and I think it really allows you to fully concentrate and focus. That for next 25 minutes I have to complete this task, or I have to be focused. So, it's really helpful. So this is one thing that I'm really taking away from this book. This is again a very interesting thing which is there in this book. When something has a name, it exists forever. If you want to bring your life project into being, baptize it. So basically it says that if you have a project in your life, which is not come into being, you name it. For example, if you have a trip to Nepal, just call it Nepal Spirit, which is a trip that basically you're planning to go with your friends. So for example, a lot of couples, they usually name their child, and even before he or she is born, when they talk, they name the child. Or for example, I want to open a book cafe, and whenever I address it, I call it by the name that I want the book cafe to be called as. So the author says that if you have something, if you want to attract something in your life, just baptize it, just give it a name, and when you're talking about it, just refer to it with that name that you have thought about it. Another chapter where he says, that while we grow up, we often forget our basics. So the author says that you need to go back to your preschool, the lessons that you had learned in your preschool, which while growing up, obviously you have forgotten about. So lessons like share everything, play fair, put things back where you found them, say sorry, live a balanced life, always pay attention to wonderful stuff. And then remember the first, words that you learned, the greatest one of all, look, which basically means be curious about everything in your life. And another interesting chapter that the author talks about here is, how kindness plays a very important role in keeping us happy, and keeping us happy and living more a fulfilled life also helps us in finding our ikigai. So the author says that there are various investigations which suggest that being kind makes people happy. So where he also adds, that Japan is a place that was quite, prone to natural disasters. And because of this, the people of the Japan, they always were, they knew that they had to come out and help each other. So being kind and helping is, naturally ingrained in them. So, and then the author says, if you're struggling how to be kind, he's listed down various things that can be, your cue to be kind, like things like smile at the person who serves you, write a work colleague a thank you note, send an affectionate message to your friends, buy your building caretakers, coffee or tea, and forgive someone, give money to one of the associations you trust, buy a book for a friend, tell your boss, that how much you appreciate their work ethics. Usually people criticize his boss, but, tell thank you to your boss. And, take a day off, and take your family out, spend some time with them. And lastly, there is this whole table which helps you which is like a conclusion of everything, and which helps you in finding your ikigai. So there are 4 quadrants. So what I love, what the world needs, what I can be paid for, and what I'm good at. So as basically these quadrants are, you fill things like what you love and what you think the world needs, what I can be paid for, and what I'm good at. So while you fill this, the author says you'll be inspired and you will know patterns, things, and it might help you to find your ikigai. So yeah, this was all what this book is all about, something that these are the major takeaways that I really liked in this book. If I have to be honest, the first part was something that I really enjoyed. This one was more general statements, and I'm not sure how all the exercises are going to motivate you to just get inspired and start taking actions towards your life goals. But this book is definitely going to inspire you in bits and pieces, and I think that's with all the self-help books. I believe a lot of people don't read self-help book because they are like, okay, yeah, but it doesn't tell me what to do. But it's supposed to inspire you, which this book did in bits and parts, like the Pomodoro Technique. This is something that I'm going to take away and I'm going to generally put practice and put it into life. So yeah, this is what this book is all about. So I would just suggest, if you have not read the first part, read the first part. You can give this one a try, but like I said, this was not what I fully expected, but it's not a bad book either. So yeah, that's all. It was a long review, but yeah, there's a lot of things to share which I really like, and I feel that you guys can benefit. There are 1 or 2 interesting things that I missed, but that's all on this book. I'm going to see you next week with another book and with a shorter book review as well. Till then, take care. Bye bye.